Hello and welcome to a very special preview show for rounds 15 and 16 of the ABB FIA Formula E World Championship right here in the capital city of the United Kingdom. We are in London. It's a home race for this man here, Saunders CB.
Big time.
I'm Alexa Rendell and we are so excited for all of the action this week it's about to bring.
Absolutely buzzing. But first, can I just draw attention to the fact that I felt like it was Mexico, I blinked, and now we're here. Where has this season gone?
Quickly, it's mad.
It's unbelievable. And again, we are at that point where it's come down to the final weekend of the championship where the titles, both of them, will be decided. I actually feel like this is the most pumped I've ever been.
Truly, I think that's a completely valid feeling because there is so many storylines to look at, so many things that we have to get done this weekend. I can't wait.
So many things to cover. With that in mind, let's see what's coming up in the show.
This one could get spicy. Both can win. A team's championship is also in the balance, but only one can take home the driver's trophy.
It's a cool atmosphere to have. You don't really get it anywhere else, especially like that enclosed environment. So yeah, when you're the top Brit, it's a pretty cool feeling to have everyone rooting for you.
I'm not even going to make a prediction.
Oh, come on.
No, you know what happened in Portland when I predicted Cassidy to win everything and then he had an absolute
Surely
shocker.
this is the time to prove whether this is real or not.
So as you said, Saunders, this championship has always gone down to the wire.
I know, this is so exciting. I don't know how it keeps happening. Honestly, like season 1, it happens. Season 2, it happens. Season 2 and 3, I think there's 1 point between the guy that wins it and the driver that doesn't. And it actually came down to a fastest lap. We've got season 7 when 17 went into the final weekend potentially to win it. Every time it goes down to the final weekend, the only difference with this weekend is it's never been 2 teammates in position 1 and 2.
I think that is so exciting. But why is it that it's gone down to the wire this weekend in particular?
I think Formula E is always really competitive, right? It's the style of racing. There's very little between the drivers. They're all incredibly talented, and obviously there's less that you can change within the cars, so there's less difference there with things like aerodynamics and all that stuff. But I think what makes it especially relevant this season is because it was only software that could be changed within the car between the off-season. And it was such a new experience for everyone last year. It meant that if you really struggled last year, it was much easier to not struggle as much this year. But if you were very good last year, it was hard to maintain that and stay competitive on everybody else getting better.
I like it. So let's take a look at who our championship contenders are going to be.
The time is finally here, the season 10 finale, and both drivers and teams' World Championships titles and trophies are still up for grabs. But who are the contenders?
58 points available, meaning mathematically anyone in the top 7 can win it. But Da Costa, Roland, Verne and Dennis, who sit in 4th to 7th, would need not much less than a miracle to make that happen. Essentially, for the top 3 to score 0 points in the first of the 2 races that make up this London finale, to make it go down to the final race. Meaning that we are more likely looking at a top 3 battle for the Drivers' World Championship between Cassidy, Evans and Verline. And there's just 12 points between the 3 of them. The driver in the best position, although only slightly, is Kiwi driver Nick Cassidy on 167 points. 8 podiums and 2 wins so far this season, coming off the back of being runner-up last season. There's not many championships Cassidy has raced in that he hasn't won, and now he's in a strong position to add Formula E to that list.
Yes! Yes!
Cassidy was very strong in London last season, powered by the same powertrain, albeit now with the Jaguar manufacturer team, so surely must be going into this weekend confident. However, the same can be said for his teammate Mitch Evans, also in a Jaguar, also in contention for the championship and also from New Zealand. A super strong second half of the season with 2 wins to leave him just 10 points behind his teammate. This one could get spicy. Both can win. A team's championship is also in the balance, but only one can take home the driver's trophy. And whatever entitlement Cassidy might feel having narrowly missed out on the title last season, Evans has ×4, because he's been in the championship fight at the business end of the season in the last 4 seasons, but falling short each time.
Oh yeah, and one more thing. They're both fighting to be the first Kiwi single-seater world champion since Denny Hume in 1967. But wait, it gets even more interesting than that, because level on points with Mitch Evans, just 12 points behind Cassidy, is Pascal Wehrlein.
3 podiums to his name and has been scoring points more consistently than anyone else. Pascal has also been a bit of a qualifying specialist this season, achieving 3 pole positions, with only Verne to rival him on that front. In London, qualifying and starting position is way more important than what has been the case in pretty much any other race this season. This could go down to the final checkered flag of the season on Sunday. In the Teams Championship, it's Jaguar TCS Racing in pole position for the title, thanks to the efforts of their driver lineup. But only 33 points behind, with 94 still up for grabs, are Tag Heuer Porsche. So, just 15 points collectively, or either Jaguar driver on the podium for example, would be enough to clinch the team's title on Saturday. Seems fairly likely, but if we've learned anything from Formula E, it's that anything can happen. Just look at how much things changed in Portland alone.
The scene has been set. Now all that's left is for the drama to unfold. It's lights, camera, action.
Thank you so much for that roundup, Saunders. And now we are joined by championship journalist Katy Fairman. And Katy, we've given people a little bit of a taste as to what they can expect this weekend, who's in the running. What are your thoughts ahead of a huge round we've got coming up?
Yeah, well, although we have got 7 drivers mathematically in with a chance, I think the top 3 are the obvious choices to go for. For me, I feel like we could see Mitch Evans take it. Nick Cassidy has been on a roll. He has got still quite a big points gap up ahead. But don't forget, here last year, he had the issues with Envision, contact with Sebastian Buemi kind of ending his championship hopes. The 2 Jaguars fighting each other could be that we see a case of deja vu. Plus, he's come fresh from Portland where he had no point results. So I think that also puts Pascal Wehrlein in a strong position because he's got Antonio Felix da Costa that can sort of be that team player, help push him up the rank, and yeah, I think that will definitely be a benefit for Pascal. So maybe we'll see him get his first title.
You know, one thing to think about as well is this track, as we know, qualifying way more important than it has been at pretty much any other point in the season. You look at who is in the top 3. You've got Mitch Evans, who although didn't stay there because of a penalty, pole position in the first race here last year. Nick Cassidy, pole position in the second race here last year. Pascal Wehrlein, level on most pole positions this season.
Yeah.
So that top 3 could be fighting next to each other come the start of that first race, and that could obviously implement what happens going into the second race. So I actually think qualifying is going to be a massive story here.
But I did see a stat, and this is one that's kind of living rent-free in my head, that if the results from Portland are duplicated this weekend, Antonio Felix da Costa wins the championship. Now that is a real stretch, I would argue, for that to happen, but this track is so different to Portland. Do we expect to see da Costa possibly going for the win again?
It's all going to come down to qualifying again, just to kind of further that point, because da Costa makes moves. That he's very good at making moves, using that energy. He knows that kind of strategy style of racing very, very well. So I think what is potentially a more realistic hope for da Costa is a top 3 finish, and I think that's more than possible. But will he be that'd be his teammate he'll be overdoing though, wouldn't it?
It's true.
Oh,
be a little bit tasty.
There's spice.
It could be a little bit tasty because we've spoken a fair bit about Porsche. Let's focus a little bit more on Jaguar because currently they are basically in the driving seat for all 3 championships. However, there is big pressure for them going into this weekend, right? That we all kind of thought they would wrap up at least 1 or 2 of those championships last time out in Portland. Things went so horrendously wrong. Now they're in front of a home crowd. We've been looking around. They've even got a massive hospitality unit. This is a big weekend for Jaguar. All their people are here. Is that pressure going to be too much for them? It's a lot to ask.
Quite possibly.
I would say if you deal with it, you deserve to be a champion. If you don't deal with it, you don't deserve to be a champion. That is what makes a champion, right? If you can deal with that pressure, you can deal with that extra added, stress that comes with a big event like this, home race. But I think someone like Cassidy can deal with that. And I think it's someone like Evans that has shown in the past maybe that gets the better of him. So this is the time to right that wrong, to change the story in his own journey in Formula E.
Katie, if you were James Barkley, hypothetically,
I'd be much taller,
Didn't want to say it, but maybe.
Appreciate it.
What would you be saying to your drivers coming to this weekend? Because this is the important thing, right? That not only are they both working together to get that team's championship, to secure that manufacturer's championship, they also have their own championship to think about. And Mitch Evans, he's not going to go into this lying down.
No, I mean, I think you said earlier, like, it's the 4th consecutive year that he's been a title contender in the finale. So, and one thing I will actually add is that a lot of the case throughout the season is Jaguar are not scared, but they don't put many team orders in place. They're happy to let the boys race, which I love as a racing fan. But I mean, look at last time out in Portland when we knew Evans had that 5-second penalty, and yet they let him race Cassidy. And I think Cassidy, that's probably thrown him a little bit. In fact, I spoke to him in the media pen afterwards, and I could tell it did throw him. So if they play that game again this weekend, it could either be a sensational result, we get amazing racing, things that the fans are so desperate for, or it could all end in tears.
Do you know what's an added layer of intensity in that?
What is it?
Is that just cast our minds back to this time last year, where Cassidy played the team game and it stopped him winning the championship.
Yeah.
Is he even going to follow the order if it comes?
Oh, I don't know. I'm so excited.
The drama's on it. Just love
You know,
it.
he wants it for himself this
Yeah,
year.
yeah.
Right? You understand that. He came so close last season. I don't know. It might not be as easy as do what you're told. You know, I did that
Fireworks.
last year. It didn't work out. I'm doing my own
Yeah.
thing this year.
Yeah.
Well, how about we take a closer look at the track we're going to be racing on around the streets of London this weekend with our commentator, Tom Brooks.
Rounds 15 and 16 of the 2024 ABB FIA Formula E World Championship is held in the UK's capital city of London. 2 kilometres long, 20 turns in total. Let's go for a lap. Down the start-finish straight, a tight and twisty first sector here means it's very much one at a time. We come bursting into the daylight out of turn 7, down this long straight and into the chicane. That's a great overtaking opportunity for drivers, and then it's really fast and flowing as we come into these next series of right-handers. Turn 16 is where attack mode will be activated. Then it gets tight and twisty. We come over the crest of the hill, through turn 19, back into the arena, and that completes a lap of London. Let's see who will be crowned as Season 10's World Champion.
Thank you so much for that, Tom. And now let's chat a little bit more in depth about the actual intricacies of this track, because it's quite unusual and especially a bit different compared to Portland when we look at surface and other elements of it. Not notably, half indoors, half outdoors.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just unique to Formula E, it's unique to motorsport.
Yeah.
The fact that an indoor-outdoor racetrack comes with all sorts of challenges you have to get over, grip being the main thing, because most indoor surfaces are not going to have the same grip as a tarmac outside. So they're really clever the way that they've built this kind of semi-abrasive, almost sticky surface in here, which means that they get unreal grip through here and then have to realise, oh wait, we're going to lose it a little bit on the normal asphalt outside. But yeah, I mean, I don't think we're going to have the weather by the sounds of it.
It is British summertime, so who really
You
knows?
never know.
True. Because that's a big change here. But yeah, it's very interesting because it's so much tighter, so much harder to overtake than it is in somewhere like Portland or Misano or Shanghai. So yeah, completely different style of racing.
Well, actually, Katie, I want your thoughts on that because it is going to be so different to Portland. We've spoken a lot about the championship contenders. Are there anyone else that you have in mind, any other teams that could do well on this track and maybe start to throw in a few little problems for those trying to get that important points haul from the win?
My first thought actually went to Nissan's Ollie Rowland. I feel like he's the kind of guy that's just going to send it. Like, he seems to lose his front wing at most races, and with this track, which has actually got walls nearby, I have missed having walls nearby. Like, as much as I enjoy the other kind of racing, this is like a proper Formula E street circuit. The kind of circuits as well that somebody like Nick Cassidy really enjoys. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what they can all do. But it's just going to be a bit of a I don't know.
It's going to be
crazy. Yeah, it's going to be mad.
Because we've got no room for error anymore.
No.
The walls have come back in, and now any mistake or someone getting forced out a little bit is just going to be impact.
Yeah.
And that's potentially race over. But crucially as well, not just that, yellow flag, safety car,
Yes.
any kind of
Strategy's
gap,
gonna be
anyone's
huge.
strategy to keep changing, energy target's going to keep changing, drama.
I also actually wondered, when you say about strategy, that's something that really came to my mind when talking about the championship with Jaguar. For example, when you've got 3 championships you're trying to win, suddenly there's a safety car thrown out. What do you prioritise?
It's a hard one, but ultimately I guess you just judge it based on where you are at the point of the safety car, because let's say, well, what makes it really interesting is, hypothetically, let's say Nick Cassidy's in the lead, Mitch happens second, but Nick has used more energy to get into that lead. And then the safety car comes out, he has the ability to completely get rid of that deficit and be level with Mitch. Or then it's sort of unfair to Mitch, so do the team then say, Mitch, you need to save more, so when the safety car goes in, you've still got the benefit of Or is it at that point, you know, unlucky Mitch, it happens,
Bad luck.
deal with it kind of thing? Yeah, the safety car's going to change things quite a lot if it does happen.
One other thing that's really snuck up on me about this weekend, it's the last time we're seeing our Gen 3 machinery.
Yeah.
Next year we're moving to Gen 3 Evo. Katie, can you give us a lowdown on what we're expecting from that?
Well, it's going to be faster, it's going to be more nimble, there's going to be more grip. Saunders,
I mean,
anything else you can chuck to?
These are big changes. Now,
Yeah.
talking to some of the drivers who have had the chance to test it, we're talking like between 2 and 5 seconds quicker a lap. That is,
Wow.
in motorsport, that's huge.
That's rapid.
Like the level of extra grip they're going to get around corners,
It'll be good
especially in
fun.
attack mode and qualifying, where they can use that all-wheel drive, is game-changing. We're actually going to see the proper, true performance and the power behind these cars. And yeah, I think it will change things in terms of regular qualifying performance. And also, attack mode is going to be like having a mushroom in Mario Kart. Like the grip they'll have versus everybody else who isn't in attack mode will be crazy.
Love it. Can't
Let's take a
wait.
moment. Farewell, Gen 3.
Yeah, you've done us
Yeah.
well.
You've done us well. Excited to see you, Gen 3 Evo. And on that note, let's take a look ahead of this weekend at what the drivers had to say about racing around this incredible track in their Gen 3 cars for one last time.
UK breathed a lot of motorsport, has a lot of history, a lot of races, and to have the final in a city like London is super special.
We always end in London, which is nice way to round off a season. I like the track. Obviously, nice to get some family and friends to races.
Of course, London is great. It's been season finale for now a few years. The track is awesome. The fans are truly awesome also. Last year we had an amazing race there with the rain, a pretty chaotic Sunday. And also with a double header, it gives you a good opportunity, you know, to fight for those championship points right until the end.
I mean, yeah, London's a very technical circuit, it's a lot like Rome, and ultimately you need a good race car, you need a car with a lot of front and good rear stability. So slow speed, technical corners always relatively suited to me, but yeah, you just need to be precise, make use of the full track width. You know, London's very narrow, so any extra sort of inch you can gain here and there always makes a difference. And yeah, just have a lot of confidence.
I would say that sector 1 in London is really cool because you go from the inside to the outside with turn 1, 2, 3, 4, like all of that section. Then you go down the hill, down that kind of tunnel with that big bump. I think that section is really cool.
Our car mechanically is quite good in low speed, sort of tight, twisty sort of sections like London has a lot of. So, and also the powertrain deficits, and because there's not big straights, it's good for us as well. Yeah, it's a good place normally for us pace-wise, and also just obviously racing in London is cool as well.
The track, half indoor, half outdoor, can create a series of adversities that makes the final quite interesting. Like last year, we had rain and then half of the racetrack was wet, half of it was dry, which allowed for a lot of overtakes and a lot of unknowns of that race.
Well, we have such amazing fans in the UK, and I think that fans come in their tens of thousands to come and watch us in and around the London area. You do get a sense of importance, like you want to do well as a British driver in a British race.
Yeah, it's a cool atmosphere to have. You don't really get it anywhere else, especially like that enclosed environment. So yeah, when you're the top Brit, it's a pretty cool feeling to have everyone rooting for you.
So we've heard from all of our drivers about what they think this weekend has in store. I want your two predictions. Starting off, who will be world champion?
Do you want to take this one?
Oh, damn it.
We're both too chicken to say it first.
I always think you can't argue with form, and yes, there's been a few blips, but I think based on his performance here last season, Cassidy is going to do it. But here's the spanner I'm going to throw in. Da Costa will be third.
Like it.
Ooh.
I say will be, like it's a guarantee. That's my prediction. Anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mystic Meg.
Katy Fairman.
I'm going to go different,
Okay.
and I'm going to say that this is the year Evans finally does it.
I like
I think
it.
there'll be a nice wholesome story to end the season on. Not that Nick Cassidy hasn't worked his butt off this year. He's done
Yeah.
such a good job, especially first year of Jag. But I feel it, I'm feeling the vibes. I feel like maybe.
I'm not even going to make a prediction.
Oh, come on.
No, you
got
know
to.
what happened in Portland when I predicted Cassidy to win everything and then he had an absolute
Surely
shocker.
this is the time to prove whether
Yeah.
this is real or not.
Yeah.
Tell you what, I won't make a prediction for world champion,
Okay.
but I will make a prediction that I think we will have a rogue winner of one of the races. I think
Okay.
there is
I
going to be
love it.
so much drama, and
Yeah.
the drivers that are in the championship fight are going to be looking out for each other, right? So then it's a very nice little opportunity for somebody who's maybe not taken a win this season, not taken a win particularly recently, to just skirt on in there, cause an upset, take the point for pole position, take the points for the win, and start making everything a little bit more complicated.
I rate that. I back that up because I've actually had a bit of a feeling that Jake Dennis will win here.
Okay.
I like it.
Just,
He likes
I mean,
winning
I say
here.
a bit of a feeling he likes winning here. I think every time he's racing, he's won
Yeah.
in you know multiple setups, say not different teams. So yeah, I'll back that. I'm going to say Jake Dennis will get a win here this weekend.
I'll also follow that thought and maybe go with a McLaren driver.
Oh,
I feel like that could be. Oh,
but
that was a
who?
great reaction from you both, by the way.
Bird or Hughes?
Bird or Hughes? Bird or Hughes?
I'm gonna go Hughes.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Just because
Okay.
I want to see that bleach blonde hair, which I saw you
Oh,
talk about on the
yeah.
added lap, and I saw
point.
it was on camera. I want the blonde hair
We
for
need
the last
Hughesy to
race.
dye his hair.
Does that need to be a 1-2 for that to happen?
I think that's not entirely impossible
Yeah.
here.
Okay,
like
okay.
it.
Oh my
All right,
gosh,
we'll see what
right.
happens.
No pressure.
Boys.
Boys. On McLaren.
The bleach is coming for you. Thank you so much, Katie. Thank you, Saunders. And thank you for joining us. We have one hell of a race weekend that we are building up to. You do not want to miss any of this action, this drama, because for one last time in season 10, it's on.
The final battle, the London XL Circuit. Here, our season 10 world champion will be crowned. Navigating the changing elements lap after lap from indoor to outdoor. The checkered flag drops now.